and water and wastewater treatment and reuse. Please, Sayat.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Ziad, for the introduction. Today, I'll discuss the change of water scarcity level in Jordan using Water Poverty Index. So, firstly, we need to know what do we mean by water scarcity. Water scarcity is the lack of freshwater resources to meet water demand, and this can result from from poor management of water resources or from insufficient available water resources to supply the demand. This slide shows the global water scarcity map, and Jordan is classified among the world as the physical water suffering from physical water scarcity. And this slide shows the key indicators that are مش راضي على السلايد مش عارف ليه أنا مش كده أكتب بسرعة. So this slide shows the global water scarcity map. As we see, Jordan is classified among the countries that suffering from physical water scarcity. And this slide shows the key indicators that are used worldwide to assess water scarcity. Some of them are Water Security Risk Index, Total Renewable Internal Freshwater Resources, 2040 Future Water Stress, Interannual Variability of Water Supply, Baseline Water Stress, and Internal Renewable Freshwater Resources per capita, in addition to Water Poverty Index. This slide shows here the Jordan ranking in this indicator. This is rank varied from 3 in Water Security Risk Index to 33, which is indicate that Jordan suffering from high level of water scarcity. And this slide shows the Global Water Poverty Index map, and Jordan is classified as a severe water poverty level. Now let me show you some water facts about Jordan that putting Jordan within this rank that's suffering from physical water scarcity. As well as all of us know that Jordan ranked as the second poorest country in the world. The available annual renewable water resources per person is less than 100 meter cube, whereas the global line for absolute water scarcity is 500. In 2017, quantity of available renewable water resources was 853, whereas the estimated water demand for our sector was 1412. The shared water is around 40% of the total water resource. Source of water are 27 only from surface water, 14 treated wastewater, and 59 from groundwater. And finally, 52% of total water resources is used in agriculture, 46% is from groundwater. For the population of Jordan, we see that the population in Jordan in 2004 was 5.5 million, and in 2017 this number became doubled to 10 million. The sudden increase happened during the period from 2011 to 2015 as a result of Syrian crisis. Based on the consistent population growth, Ministry of Water and Irrigation developed their water strategy to meet the demand of 5.87 million people in 2008 and 7.8 million people in 2022. But with the influxes of Syrian refugees, this population approached 8 million in 2013. So the demand is dramatically increasing, and therefore the water strategy was developed, new strategy was developed to meet the increasing demand. So this study is come up to evaluate the change of water poverty and scarcity level in Jordan during the period from 2010 to 2017 using water poverty index to better understanding the challenges that faces water sector in Jordan. Water poverty index is a multi-dimensional approach which examines all various components which affect water availability, including environmental conditions, social factor, capacity of user to pay and look for water service, and the various uses of water by community. This index consists of 5 components, which are resource, access, use, capacity, and environment. For the resource is referred to the physical availability of freshwater resources, and access is the extent of access to water and sanitation service. Use is the way in which the water is used for different purposes, including domestic, agriculture, and industrial use. For the capacity is the effectiveness of people's ability to manage the water resources. And environment is the evaluation of the environmental impact of water resources. In this study, sub-indicators are used to assess each of the 5 components. For resource, we use average water supply and average annual rainfall. And for access, percent of population access to pipe water networks and sanitation are used. For use, domestic water use is used in this component. And the capacity, in the capacity part, 4 categories of capacity are used, which are economic capacity, institutional capacity, physical capacity, and social capacity. And for environmental component, the result of microbial analysis of conforming drinking water sample is used as a raw data. This is a bar chart show the data that are used for scoring and evaluating the water poverty index and its components. To calculate water poverty index, each of the sub-indicators that are previously mentioned are normalized using this equation. Within each of the 5 components, the sub-indicators are averages and then multiplied by 20 to get the score of the component, and then added together to get the final score of WPI. The score is ranged from 0 to 100. 0 indicates the worst case and high poverty level, and 100 indicates the best case and the lowest poverty level. This table shows the scoring results of WPI and its component. As we see, the highest value of water poverty index was in 2010, which indicates the best situation and the lowest water poverty, and the lowest value was in 2012, which indicates the worst case in water poverty level in Jordan, as we'll discuss in detail in the following slide. In 2010, this indicates the best situation of water poverty in Jordan, whereas in 2011 and 2012, the water poverty index score is decreased to 59.36, based on lowering the score of resource and use component of the score of the WPI, whereas in 2013 to 2015, the WPI is back increasing to get the final value 73.14 in 2015, as increasing the score of resource, use, and capacity. And in 2016 and 2017, the score of the WPI back decreasing due to decreasing the score of capacity and use. To explain this change in more detail, we see in this slide that in 2010, this indicates the situation of water scarcity in Jordan before the Syrian crisis, and in 2011 and 2012, this is indicate that this is refer or represent the situation of Jordan at the Syrian crisis, whereas the increasing of value for a water poverty index in 2013 to 2015 refer to the start the pumping of water from DC water conveyance, and the back decreasing in water poverty index from 2016 to 2017 refer to that the expected DC water was expected to cover the Jordan with the needs until 2022, but this estimate has been revised down to 2016. So that's why the score is reducing. Conclusion: resources in Jordan. Jordan is suffering from lack of available water resources, so the effort is focused mainly to find additional water resources through major projects such as DC water, Red Sea, and desalination of water. Access, in terms of access, the score is relatively high, and there is no significant change among the years due to reach high percentage of access. For the capacity score is relatively increasing among the year due to increasing the fund for water and sanitation project and increasing the social capacity to face water scarcity. In the term of the environment, the score also high, and there is no significant change among the years due to high restriction of the Jordanian water standard and regulation. And finally, our conclusion is considerable population growth as the influxes of Syrian refugees have aggravated the water scarcity level in Jordan. WPI is suitable for evaluating the change of water scarcity level in Jordan and can be used to monitor the progress of water sector and determine the priority for water need. DC water project contribute significantly in reducing the water scarcity level by filling the gaps between demand and supply. As published, 44% of the gap was reduced by DC water. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. We still have some time for questions, so I'll open the floor for questions to any of the speakers, and including yes, please.
Tharwa Qutaish from Jordan. I have comments for Dr. Akkar. Is that right?
Not yet doctor, but
you will be, inshallah.
I will be open dissertation.
Yeah. So you are talking about water Elliott group, which is something new here, and it's first time I heard about it. So did we expect that by the end of your proposal you will have a ranking system or a point who will be join this water elite group? He should comply with certain condition, and that certain condition will have certain points. It's like GEA, Jordan Engineering Association points. If you want to be expert, you have to have such points. If you want to be a consultant, you will have another point, and so on. Do we expect that by the end of your proposal?
The sky is the limit. Just like the innovation in the professional environment, it's all the time evolving, emerging. I remember when I get my master's degree from Penn State in 1995, there was nothing called training and development. It was a Penn State and public universities, they were like having as an emerging profession. And now we see lots of licensing, lots of certified. I'm also performance certified robust technologist. I mean, it's like it's a fact of life that these changes. So, like I remember when I participated in the OMT project, operational maintenance training project, which set the criteria for the water operators in Jordan. it was in 2011. I was putting the framework for the policy framework. And everybody was saying, what are we going to do it here in Jordan? It's not going to happen. You know, like the ABC, it's been like for decades in the US that they developed this, so they tried to
But now they are practicing that.
Yeah. I mean, it's what
now
Mr.
they can take a certificate
this
for
morning,
them.
like we have 12. I was so amazed, like 1,200 across the region, the Arab region, that they are certified operators. So that's, I mean, just go back to your question, can we gonna have like elite, water elite? To tell the truth, I started on Facebook, water elite. I have a page now. Okay?
Really?
So
Okay.
I just see how things will evolve.
Okay.
I'm, you know, as individual initiative, like whether it's academic or because I am consider myself, I was plumber when I was in high school. My brother used to take me to in the summer to work with them. So I have like a lot of attachment to water. So to set the criteria, maybe that's why I'm trying to get closer to the aqua. You know, try to institutionalize the process, and not just to keep it silent and make the dissertation and get that transcript and life will continue. No, I mean this is why I propose certain attributes to this elite. It's like if you go to Fortune magazine, you know, the millionaire, you know, like the top 100. They put how can you calculate the wealth? So people, they start putting numbers so that they can be in this list. One of them is Trump. You know, now they found out a lot of fake news about it now. Okay. So what I would say, yes, there are criteria for that. If there like a body will adopt it to be under an umbrella without like national, regional, international, that would be fine. But somebody has to make a move.
Yeah.
And I hope that with my move can be blessed, you know, like with other people who like believe in the idea and try to get like into the club, you know, like you have like military elite, you have like political elite, you have athletic elite. So why not have water elite?
So you can start and we will continue.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. And I hope that somebody will resonate and some echo in the region for that.
Yeah, it will be amazing.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Yeah, for Mr. Rabika, Mrs. Rabika, you are talking about groundwater here in Jordan, and we know there is over abstraction and there is digging wells, illegal digging wells, especially in the north. But did your study take the trigger points for artificial recharge for this groundwater which are depleted?
This study here right now focuses only on the A7B2 aquifer, and you don't really have there much artificial recharge from TZ yet.
Okay.
Because in the area where you have an outcrop area where it would be easily recharged, it's already unsaturated, and in the other areas it's relatively deep. You have other aquifers lying above. You may even have the B3 aquitate above. So the artificial recharge from DZ yet can't say. There is one area between Amma and Zaka where you can see that from the wastewater treatment plant, the water outlet.
Yes, which is coming from Khabet al-Samra.
Yeah, there you can see in the contour lines in the flow direction, it's again a little bit confusing, but okay, there you have artificial recharge. But this is the only area where we could see that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, finally, to Engineer Ayat, I just want, if your study mentioned that there is the resilience plan, which is here in Jordan, where there are certain funds for water projects between years 2013 and 2017, whereas there is many projects have been implemented in water and wastewater. If this has been mentioned more clear in your slides, it will be perfect. Thank you for your.
For the institutional capacity, it's already scoring in the capacity part component of the WPI, and we see that during the period from 2011 to 2016, the institutional capacity score is increased due to the increasing the fund for water and sanitation. It's already contributed to evaluate the WPI.
I think we're running out of time. Just I'm gonna go back to the organizers. How much time do we still have? 5 minutes. So just quickly, we'll take 5 minutes. Very brief questions. Very brief. You've had your share, so let me start with someone else. Sorry, but just to be fair. There, and another question here. And if we have more time, we'll go back to you. Okay.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مصطفى سمير مهندس مصطفى سمير من مصر. في مشكله في سؤال للباشمهندس. تمام، احنا دلوقتي في مصر عندنا بننقل ميه النيل من النيل ممكن الساحل الشمالي لاي مكان. ليه هنا ما بننقلش الميه من العقبه ميه البحر للاماكن اللي انتوا عايزين تعملوا عليها محطات تحليه، بما ان محطه ميه الابار قربت تخلص والمسافات صغيره عندكم مش زي المسافات طويله؟
Let's take the second question and we'll answer all of them. السؤال الثاني اسمع تفضل.
طيب شو الفرق؟ لا الافضل اني احليها في العقبه وانقلها. ليش انقلها مي مالحه للعمان؟ لا 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 احنا بس انا الان لما انقل كميات مياه من